Alright, YouTube, what's going on? Denonu here, the man with black privilege. And we had ourselves a new Spider-Man trailer drop. I don't know if it dropped yesterday, maybe day before yesterday, but I figured I'd give my thoughts on it and the movie, you know, on the whole, since it came out, since I need something to talk about this week. So, it looked pretty decent. I'm not going to get on the mic and say it looks like it's the best thing ever. Although I think it does look like the best Spider-Man movie we've seen so far. I'm still debating whether if it's better than Spider-Man 2. I think it's gonna be better than Spider-Man 2, but I just gotta wait till the movie comes out in order to make that decision for myself. And being a huge Spider-Man fan myself, I've been reading Spider-Man comic books since like the late 80s, so really enjoying the movie so far. It definitely does seem like, at least Sony is kind of letting Marvel do their thing. I know it's still a Sony movie and everything like that, but it's looks good. I mean, it looks like a lot of stuff that the Spider-Man movies really needed. By them casting him young, dealing with young high school type problems, it's kind of put Spider-Man in a place where I guess I'm not gonna say most of his fans, because Spider-Man fans range from kids to adults. So, but the prime majority of them are, let's say, teenagers coming into adults. So, I know with the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, those two movies, I wasn't that big of a fan of them, only because they just seemed like they never really knew what they wanted to do. And then with the second one, it was like all over the place. And with the Raimi Spider-Man movies, they were decent. I really enjoyed Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 1 was kind of like, but I didn't really like how they did the Green Goblin. Spider-Man 2, I think, was a nice, solid movie. It had its peaks. It had a couple problems with it, but for the most part, that was a good-ass movie. And then 3 just kind of shat the bed, and it just... I'm not even going to talk about part 3. Just put it in that box along with X-Men The Last Stand and X-Men Origins Wolverine. But with this one here, it looks like they're changing the game. They had, the little deflatable suit that he had, that Tony Stark made for him, the same one from Civil War. And it looks good. It's like, I thought I wouldn't like the suit changes all that much, because normally I'm like a stickler for, like, that was one thing I hated with the Amazing Spider-Man, is that they changed the suit, you know what I'm saying? And with this one, it looks more like, okay, they're going with the original suit, but with a couple twists to it. And the twists actually make more sense, because now, at least in this movie, you're seeing more of what the suit can do versus it's, just being an outfit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had the little spider tracer drone that was on his chest. I'm not a particularly big fan of that, because the spider tracers have always been things that he's either thrown or shot out of his web shooters. But it's a nice, interesting twist to the spider on his chest. So it's like, okay, it is what it is. The exploding webbing when he shot on the car, the fabric, in the ferry, and then it had like a delayed pop to it. That was pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of the impact webbing that Spider-Man used to use in the comic books. And you had a lot of interesting scenes of him like trying to hold the ferry together and everything. This trailer was more menacing looking, and I guess more story driven than the other trailer. And the one part that kind of sort of bugged me was I can understand where they're coming from, because you have to have somebody be that adult figure in the movie, right? And you have Tony Stark telling Peter Parker, he's like, oh, I need the suit, and he's like, oh, like, if you're nothing without the suit, then something, what did he say? He was like, you're nothing. He was like, if you think you're nothing without the suit, then you don't deserve it, or something like that, right? And I was like, now I can understand why they're doing this, because you have to have that moment in like that teenager type movie and everything, right? But I'm like, really, coming from you, Stark? Like, because I'm a huge Iron Man fan as well, right? So this is something normally, like, he has his adult responsible moments from time to time, but this speech will not be coming from him, YouTube. Let me just say that. The only time in the comic books where he's given speeches like this is like he has to fuck up first. Like, he has to be that one dude to be like, yo, I fucked up. And then he has that speech to himself or to somebody else when he was realizing, what was going on. Prime example of that, of what I'm talking about. And this is probably a moment they're not going to show in that Captain Marvel movie, I guarantee you. But Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, she became an alcoholic, just like Tony did. And he was trying to tell her in the comic books, hey, look, I know the signs, of an alcoholic. I know you're hurting for something. Let me try to help you come up out of that. And she was, and just like with when people tried to tell Tony Stark, he didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to leave him. Not she didn't want to leave him, but she didn't want to hear him. And they ended up fighting in the comic books and things like that, whatever. But it's like normally Tony Stark isn't the one to have this conversation, so when I seen this part of the trailer, I'm like, I'm like, shouldn't this be Captain America? I'm just saying, it makes more sense. But, they got Tony in the movie, not Steve Rogers, so I guess, it is what it is. But, it's pretty cool, because I guess it falls in line with what what they did with the Iron Man movies, and how he's at least trying to better himself and realize that he's more than just a man inside the suit, things like that. So that's why I could understand them doing it, but it's like one of those, my comic book side is like, he wouldn't be having this speech. Because he's the most flashiest superhero out there in a lot of ways, So, but anyway, good moment to have for a trailer, though. It's probably going to make for a great scene once you actually see it in motion in the movie itself. And I'm guessing he's going to be stingy, because he's like, give me my suit back. And I'm guessing that's why you see Spider-Man probably for like the latter half of the movie, or at least in the trailer, it looks like the latter half of the movie he's going to be wearing the Spider-Man onesie that he had in Civil War and everything before he got the suit. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I guess it'll make for a strong character development, because probably at the end of the movie Tony's gonna be like, oh, I seen you take out the Vulture, I can see you learn the lesson I was trying to teach you, here's the suit back. And I guarantee you probably Peter's gonna be like, you know what, man, I don't even need it, let me just do my own thing, and he's not gonna wear that suit again. So they're probably going to do something like that, because that seems like it would go in line with the characters and with the story that they're trying to tell and everything. Really like Michael Keaton as the Vulture. He's doing his damn thing. I'm not gonna get on here and lie that he's a shit villain. No, he seems like a legit villain. And the fact that they're tying his origin, I know that they're changing the origin from the comic books, because I don't think they could really do the Vulture's origin in the MCU. I mean, I guess they could do it, but it's weird. YouTube. He was an old man that liked to drain the life out of people, so it's kind of hard, showing that on screen and everything. So, but them, tying into the origin of in the Avengers, how he had a company that was cleaning up debris from the incident, taking this alien technology, tweaking it so they can use it to do whatever they want, and that's the reason why he has his Vulture suit, Shocker has his gauntlets, and I forget the other two guys that's in the movie, but that's the reason where that's how they get their tech. So also brings in the Tinkerer into the MCU. The Tinkerer was a character in the comic books who he would create tech for supervillains and stuff, and then they would use it to do what they do. This is a good way to bring him in, because he was like their tech guy. So if they ever wanted to have a villain get some tech in the future, they can just name drop his name, and keeps the story going forward. So that's pretty cool. I'm trying to think of any real flaws that I've seen with the trailer, and so far I'm just not seeing any. I mean, it's nice and solid. I mean, the comedy felt kind of flat, but they always overdub trailers, so I'm gonna wait until the final product to really let that set in, because maybe it could be just the edit of the trailer. But the action scenes look very well done. I know a lot of people on YouTube are talking about if the trailer showed too much, and I don't think that's the case, honestly. I think they showed just enough of probably every major action scene just to wet somebody's whistle. And I think they're going to have more once the movie actually drops and actually releases. Think of it like the airport scene from Civil War, where you saw a couple shots of it in the trailer, but when you watched the movie, that was like a 10-minute fight scene. So I think it's going to be a whole lot more that they're not showing. I think that they're showing you just enough to let you know how the movie is going to play out from beginning to end, and showing you bits and pieces throughout, but they're not going to show you the whole thing. But then again, I mean, we all gotta wait and see when it drops. So anyways, that's just my thoughts and opinions on it. It is what it is. My name is Denonu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And I'll see you guys in the next commentary video. Peace out.